Hey loves, welcome to MLP Suite Well-Beings Working Well. I'm Ashley Farrell, physical therapist turned Pilates teacher turned health and wellness coach, specializing in preventing burnout in high-stress work environments. Come on in, get comfortable, let's chat. If you feel called, like, comment, and subscribe. Here we go. Hey loves, I'm so happy that you're back for another episode of Well-Beings Working Well with me, Dr. Ash. On today's episode, we'll be going over 5 tips to help prevent stress in the workplace in order to prevent burnout overall. These are 5 tips that personally help me manage my stress in the work environment, keep my productivity high, and still find some job satisfaction during the day. So when it comes to the 5 tips that I'm going to suggest, remember, the best defense is a great offense. And that actually brings us to tip number 1. Be intentional at the start of your day. I like to, and what I have found to be really helpful, is to start your day off on a winning start. That means positive affirmations, working out, meditation, praying, just getting in tune with yourself and setting the goal of the day to be a positive one. In this respect, instead of just letting the day happen to you, you're being proactive about claiming and creating your positive day. Another part with this tip is that give yourself, let's say 8, but 5 to 8 uh-ohs in a day, right? Life ebb and flows. It's not always positive. It's not always negative. You can have a positive, overall rich day and experience 5 to 8 uh-ohs. So whatever your number is, allow yourself an allowance of negative occurrences, just knowing it's the salt and pepper of life is what gives us a seasoning so it's not so bland. And before it completely ruins your day, just take it on the chin and say, yeah, I expected something would come that I wouldn't love, but overall, I'm still having a positive day. For this next tip, find someone in work, or hopefully you don't have to find. Usually there's someone that you're naturally attracted to at work, and I mean like platonically or just on the same vibe, like a soul tribe type family, that type of attraction. But there's someone at work, whether it's like a work auntie, uncle, work wife or husband, or just like your best work friend that you naturally vibe with. And if they're capable of hearing and taking on any grievances you may have for the day, use your community. Use the people that naturally circle around you to help just alleviate some of those natural stresses that happen, or natural stressors that happen during the day. Remember, these people can also turn to you, hopefully, when they need to release some stress. So think of your relationship as being symbiotic, as 2 sponges, right? Sometimes one sponge is a little drier than the other, and you're able to pour into it, and then respectively, then they're able to pour into you. So, and if for nothing else, if you're both having terrible days, misery loves company a little bit, and maybe after talking about it and decompressing, you can find something to laugh at and just have somebody there so it's not such a pity party, and maybe it can be some inspiration or some lightheartedness that happens in that interaction. Okay, if you're not so social at work and you don't have your work cohort of family or friends or whatever you want to call it, and also maybe you're a remote worker, so you don't have the luxury of having coworkers you can reach out and touch, this is what I would do. Music. I have certain songs that instantly just brings me into a good feeling place, and I would make a playlist. Have a playlist of music that tends to uplift you, that tend to remind you of good times, and let it play even in the background. Something about lyrics and the beat of music is able to calm our central nervous system and pretty much just kind of soothe us like a baby, even to get through the hardest or most stressful work days. Remember, you don't want it to drag down, because once the momentum of stress starts rolling, it quite easily can turn into burnout. So self-soothe yourself, and music is an excellent option. Now, For tip number 4, I know you take lunch breaks at work, maybe even smoke breaks, no judge here, but do you take a mental check-in break, especially on those days that have been most stressful? This is where you give yourself 10 or 15 minutes to check in with where you're at mentally and emotionally and physically, because sometimes mental and emotional overstimulation can have physical symptoms. So give yourself 15 minutes apart from the group to kind of tune in. During this time, I would maybe listen to that music that I suggested last tip, but instead of a background kind of thing in the back, now it's a focus, whether that's gospel or even more than music. I love Abraham Hicks, so go to YouTube, turn on Abraham Hicks or Joe Dispenza or whatever that you're into. Louisa Hayes is a nice one. TED Talks, birds chirping, the ocean flows, whatever that can kind of calm your body, calm your mind, whether it's auditory, or you can read a book, or you can talk to your grandma if she gives like the best inspiration. But give yourself 10 or 15 minutes in a day, especially those days that are most stressful, to step away and mentally check out of work and get lost in something that's more pleasurable and something that brings your mood or uplifts your mood. So the 5th tip is actually very tied to that first tip of being intentional in the morning. So with this 5th tip, you're going to set 3 goals that once you accomplish them during the day, you're going to feel satisfied and like you had a productive day at work. These are the 3 goals that you check off during the day and give yourself a pat on the back, build up your confidence, build up the sense of recognition even in yourself that, wow, okay, as stressful as the day is going, I'm getting the things done that I want to get done. And at the end of the day, when you reflect back, you're not just reflecting on all the things that maybe went disarray during the day, but you're like, oh, I got these 3 things done. So if you're not able to get done those 3 things you thought you would get done that day because something else came up and you had to reprioritize your job duties, then circle what you have to do later and put a ETA or a date that you plan on recircling back to it, and then write down what you did instead. As long as you got 3 major ticks done of the day, successful day. Now, if you're not able to get those 3 major things done in your workday after so many hours, I would honestly sit back and reflect on what happened. Did you lose motivation? Did you lose focus? Was it hard to stay on task during a day? Remember, again, the best defense is a good offense. It happens. It's okay. Some days you give 100%. Some days you give 20%. What you don't want to do is just have this start to build up and you don't take notice. You start to give 20% 2, 3, 4 days in a row. It's time for a break. Nothing wrong with that. We're human. It's time for the break. And you step back and say, this isn't working. I need to do something. You don't want it to manifest in your body as a headache, as pain, as because that is what happens. If you don't recognize your emotional and mental well-being and maybe some declines in it, your body will start to manifest in a louder way. And most times that means a physical representation of the stress and the frustration and the pain that you're going through. So no, it's okay. I didn't get those 3 things done 2 days in a row. This isn't like me. I need a break, and I need to talk to my manager, and I need to just figure out what's going on with me. That's emotional maturity. That's a part of growing up, being a professional, and taking accountability for where you are emotionally, mentally, and physically. So let's review these 5 tips. The first tip, be intentional. Start your day with affirmations, motivation, visualization, journal, praying, meditating, a great workout session, something that you already start your day in positivity. So you literally start up, right? You start at nearly 100% or a gas tank on full. And whatever happens during the day, just expect expect it. It's ebb and flow. Remember, the negative makes the positive feel better. It's just a little seasoning of the day, right? And allow yourself 5 to 8 uh-ohs before you completely just ding it as a bad day, right? On your second tip, rely on your work family, your work cohort, that group of people that you tend to naturally be attracted to, and have a symbiotic relationship that you're able to help each other, whether it's stress alleviation or maybe a brainstorming group to just help with job productivity and job satisfaction in different ways of approaching your job. For the third tip, create a bomb playlist, something that just lifts you out of work and kind of just sends you into a zone that you're able to feel good internally. Something about music, rhythm, and lyrics, especially when it's something that's connected to a positive memory of the past, can help you tap into your central nervous system and regulate yourself and soothe yourself in a way that the stress is not so overwhelming. Fourth tip, let's go ahead and take 15 minutes out to just check in with ourselves. How am I doing mentally? How am I doing emotionally? Was I a little sharp in that meeting? Could I have chosen better words? Am I getting easily frustrated by the people around me? Let me take accountability about where I am mentally and emotionally and do what I have to do to self-regulate myself. And then the fifth and final tip, go ahead and set a hell yes list. Like, I got this done today. 3 things that if you get these things done, it's a successful day. Also, you'll leave room for having to reprioritize your day. So if you stuck with the video this long, go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Wellbeing's Working Well. Until next time, bye loves.